Hello everyone, and welcome to our video where we'll be showing you how to apply an epoxy floor coating. Here we can see a selection of photos taken before the job while it's still in use. The existing floor paint has been completely worn off in most areas, revealing the concrete below. As water is used to wash down cars in the valet bay, we'll be applying anti-slip to this area. Here is a quick walkthrough of the entire area that we'll be coating in this video. As you can see, this is the floor 12 hours after it has been prepared and primed from the night before. The floor was prepped by grinding the entire area with a diamond disc grinder, followed by a thorough vacuum. This is done to remove any loose, friable paint from the existing floor, to clean the bare patches of concrete from dirt or other contaminants, to remove any high spots, and to create a solid mechanical key on the background for the primer coat to bond onto. Once the area has been ground and vacuumed, priming can commence. Depending on how porous your background is, the primer may sink into the background, leaving a few slightly bare patches. This is not an issue, as we are applying a 3-coat system to this floor, consisting of a primer coat of FFD Epoxy Resin DPM Clear, followed by 2 coats of FFD Highbuild Epoxy floor paint. Now that our area has been fully prepped and primed, we can start applying the first coat of FFD Highbuild. To mix your FFD Highbuild coating, pour the contents of the hardener container into the base container, making sure to get out as much hardener as possible. Then, using a slow speed drill and paddle, mix the resin thoroughly together. This is the mixing method for all epoxy coatings, including FFD DPM and FFD Highbuild. Once mixed, pour your FFD Highbuild unit onto your floor. Use a paintbrush to cut in around any edges you may have first. Then, using a high quality paint roller, roll the epoxy over the floor, making sure you back roll to uniform the surface. Make sure you pour the whole resin unit onto the floor immediately after mixing. This will give you more time to apply the resin before it cures. The area currently being coated is the valet bay. As we mentioned earlier in the video, this area needs to be slip resistant. To create an anti-slip surface using FFD Highbuild, you simply need to scatter anti-slip aggregate uniformly into the first coat of Highbuild whilst it's still uncured. For an area of this size, we'd recommend a minimum of 2 people for the application. The easiest way to apply anti-slip is to have one person walk into the resin with spiked shoes who is dedicated to scattering, whilst another person is applying the Highbuild with a roller. It is important to gently broadcast the anti-slip aggregate sparingly into the Highbuild coating, as placing too much aggregate in one place could leave the floor looking lumpy and uneven if done incorrectly. For this particular area, we are fully blinding the Highbuild to give it the highest level of anti-slip possible. This amount of anti-slip will make applying the final coat of Highbuild more difficult. Here is what the Highbuild coating looks like when a full blind of anti-slip aggregate has been uniformly applied into its surface. The aim of a full blind is to scatter anti-slip aggregate into the Highbuild coating until there is no shiny or bare patches remaining without anti-slip. Any excess aggregate from scattering the anti-slip can be swept off of the Highbuild surface once it has fully cured. We always recommend leaving each coat of epoxy at least 24 hours before walking onto its surface. Allowing the epoxy this extra curing time significantly reduces the chance of leaving any impressions or marks on the new coating. After the first coat of FFD Highbuild has fully cured, we can now begin applying the second and final coat of FFD Highbuild. Applying a coat of FFD Highbuild onto a fully blinded anti-slip surface can be quite challenging, especially if this is your first time applying it. The key to coating anti-slip uniformly is to keep your roller head loaded with Highbuild by pouring a line of coating along your painting route. This is because the anti-slip surface will quickly use up the coating on your roller head due to its rough surface and porosity. If your roller head is too dry, it will begin to suck up Highbuild off of areas you have already coated. making the coating appear patchy instead of uniformed. This is what your final coat will look like once it has been completed. As you can clearly see, the area with anti-slip has a more matte effect finish compared to the area without anti-slip, which has a gloss finish. Here is what the area without anti-slip looks like after the final coat of FFD Highbuild has been applied. This concludes our tutorial on how to apply FFD Highbuild coating. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see our latest videos first. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.